So I think that as we progress, and these homes will develop or whatever, research and development will get out there, and people will understand the product more.
When you put this big home together, how far along is it?
It's about 2 months to completion.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah.
So not too much longer.
Not too much longer, no.
What is a green kitchen? Example.
Yeah, well, with the green kitchen, we use a FSC timber, which is Forestry Stewardship Council timber. It's a managed timber that we use, which is a local timber here.
From a tree farm.
From a tree farm, everything that we do there. Actually, the materials for these homes and you use inside, as long as they have a degree of sustainability, that's fine. What I've learned with regards to LEED and the greening of homes or whatever, the more important things is how the building operates and how the building's built. Because for myself, I don't want my buildings to be torn down in 34 years. I want them to be built to such a standard and to such a design standard that aesthetically they look fantastic in 100 years, and structurally so they will be. To me, you can retrofit a home in 10 years' time, change the tiles, change the faucets, but to me, I still want the building standing.
Sure. And I don't know if you were living here during leaky condo time.
I've heard all about it. Yeah.
Not that there aren't still some condos leaking, but that was a disaster.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, shoddy construction. I don't know if builders just didn't figure out that we live on the West Coast where it rains a lot and certain things just don't work here. It's like we built California condos.
California standards they built here, that's right, yeah. Well, now they've gone a lot the other way with it. They have environmental consultants working on your building, and in particular, they look at the envelopes, and each envelope has to pass the permit standards all the time. So I don't think they've got to worry about that any longer.
How does the landscape architect fit into the picture?
Surprisingly, when it first started, I didn't actually pay a huge amount of attention, but the more we've looked into it is, for example, we put 100% drought-tolerant plants, which sounds a little strange when you live on the West Coast. But when you analyse it, last year in BC and in this area, we used more water than we collected, which is a strange thing when you look at today.
Exactly.
But just because we see it raining all the time doesn't mean to say we're collecting it. It's just running out into the ocean. So that's one of the reasons. And also, the landscape garden, we're putting an organic vegetable garden in there, which will have everything from the herbs to your spuds to marrows, everything that you want. But I've got this view that people are going to go back to a more simplistic way of living.
I hope.
I think
Let's
they will.
hope.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
And it can be exciting. Less is more. I like
Absolutely.
that. Green roofs.
Yeah.
Do you have to have a flat roof to have a green roof? I guess you do.
Generally speaking,
well, you
yeah.
could grow corn on a slope.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, well, they do. You're absolutely right.
Wouldn't look all that good.
No, it wouldn't look pretty.
No.
No, green roofs, yeah, they generally speaking, on flat roofs is your best roof, yeah.
So if you have a flat roof and you put grass on it, I assume you have to mow it because it gets water.
Yeah, but nowadays it's they're so good to look at. That, you can put a small little vegetable garden on there. There's lots of ways you raise it up, and you can make it part of your living space.
Oh, sure. There's some major projects around the world, as you know, where they grow vegetable on roofs and buildings and cities. Give them to the poor, give them to the homeless.
Yeah. In the UK, just quickly, the green roofs that they build on these big boxes, which would be Walmart, these sort of places, the mandate there is everything's going to be green, and you basically can have soccer pitches on top of your Walmart. And they're going to have parks on top of it. Yeah, that's the way it's going to move. So they don't have to double up on space, you see. That space is not doubled up. There'll be parks there, soccer pitches, whatever they want, yeah.
And the atmosphere is always enhanced when there's more green, and it soaks up the bad stuff and
it's
does
pleasant
all
to
of
your eye.
that. Well, the Trade and Convention Center, as you know, right here has a green roof. You can go up to the top floor of the Shaw Tower if you like and have
Take
a
look
peek.
Will do, thanks.
It's looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, my neighbor, I think she's doing this. I'm not sure, but I think she's building some kind of cistern or to collect rainwater, which this summer she'll water the garden with.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's a rain barrel type system. Home Depot or most of the places offer these. In ours in particular, we're putting 2 huge tanks in our ground, and we have 100% water recapture from our roof and our patios.
So you can do it in a new home, but you can also do it in a renovation?
Oh, it's only collected from your downpipe. So you only collect it from your downpipe from your house, from your gutters, collect it into a rain barrel, and it's a straightforward irrigation system. Water's gravity fed, so long as you take the water at the highest point, it'll flow to wherever you want to in the garden. And just let it drip feed. That's what people do with them, just drip feed into the garden.
Well, see, it makes sense. I know we have to feed the oceans, but certainly that happens anyway.
Yeah.
on the farm, our grannies.
Yeah.
I don't know if your granny did, but my granny had a rain barrel.
Yeah, yeah.
Where did you grow up?
In Wales, in Cardiff, yeah, and rain barrels are quite common there. People now, you know, it's the green movement in the UK is pretty strong now. Yeah.
Government give you grants to go greener.
Yeah, more the grants that they usually give on is insulation, and because you know, his energy is the focus really, and people and the grants are on renewable energy are very good. Yes.
If I take Simon Baston to the building store,
Yeah.
buy insulation, buy green product, what do you suggest? Solar panels,
Yeah.
what?
Well, solar panels, people, you know, that probably is the big one, is the solar panels. People, you know, hear first thing when you mention solar, they say, well, look at it today. But if you remember last year, we had 2 months of very good sun. But the solar systems that's available now, they're looking at passive solar heating, which is, generally speaking, is just taking heat out of the atmosphere. Not necessarily has to be sunny, it's just taking heat out.
Sure. It's like UV or something. I'm not
Anything,
sure.
that's exactly right, yeah. It's just taking the energy out of there as opposed to the sun. So what they're going to look at long term is they're going to develop this into the roofing systems. And roofing systems will just warm up throughout the day, and that will take then your hot water for your showers, your bath, your dishwasher, washing machine, because what you'll have underneath it, you'll have loop systems of pipes, 25 millimeter water pipes. They'll go underneath the roof. The roof will heat up these pipes. And it's a very simple way. Or the roofing systems they're developing now, the solar systems, they look like shingles. They look like seam roofs. You know, it's fantastic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Many changes in design.
Design's important
Right.
because aesthetically, it has to look good. It has to look good. Otherwise, people won't do it.
No, I know our old hippie A-frames
Yeah.
with the solar panel
Yeah.
on the side that never really worked.
Well, they used to stand out so far as well, didn't they? But now they're running flush to the roof, and you can incorporate it in the components of the roof.
So in this eco-luxury home of your building, fireplaces, gas,
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah, gas. We're using non-combustion gas fireplaces. Traditionally, over the last sort of 10, 15 years, is that you'd always have a pilot light standing all the time. Well, that can be up to 5 to 10% of your heat or your energy cost a year, that pilot light standing. Because if you know, people go away for 2 weeks at a time, still leave the pilot light standing.
Right.
So ours are non-combustion ones where you ignite yourself. So, you know, they've been around quite a long time, but the problem is they never looked good, but now they look good. So, you know, we can bring them in.
Right, and if you have a pilot light fireplace,
Yeah.
should you turn it off, I guess, when you go? I guess you
Absolutely. Well, if you know, logically speaking, it's just standing there burning gas.
should. Because, as you know, we're concerned about economics these
Yeah.
days, as you probably know.
Yeah.
And a key thing to making green cool is
yeah.
going to be money.
Well,
What does it
yeah.
cost? How efficient is it?
Well, yeah. Well, firstly, the home that we're built, we're only about 2% out of budget. And the economies of scales are really moving down now with the products that's available and the simplicity of it. I think probably in the early 90s there was a false dawn where everybody was green and everything up then. You know, it just sort of like washed away. But I think it's in people's conscience now, and I think people really want to make the right decisions about how they move forward. If you look at the economy in a whole, and we look at where Barack Obama's coming in, and he's planning on 4 million jobs in the green economy.
Yes.
To me, this recession, this downturn, is a magnificent opportunity.
No question, President-elect Obama is also having a green inauguration.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think, and that means probably that rugby players like you
Yeah.
and talk show hosts like me
Yeah.
can go.
He might invite me. Who knows?
He might. And Michelle Obama might be wearing a dress from the Gap. You just never
Fabulous.
know.
Times are changing. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, Fanny. Appreciate it.
Simon Baston, owner of Leading Homes. And coming up, divine jazz singer The Cool June Katz reflects on her magical musical childhood in the Big Apple and talks about jazz divas, herself, and her music. Stay with us.